think we're live. Yeah, so nothing real fancy this stream. Just, you know, just talking stuff and whatnot. And what have yous. Shoot, where do I start? 2023. It's been interesting. Like, did not go too in depth, you know. I moved to a new place. We'll probably move to a new place at the end of the year. That is an ad! Let's see. I guess we can go ahead and talk about all the games that I played in 2023, starting with Game of the Year. I'm gonna have something pop up here. It's just gonna be a TXT file, but you know, it's something. So did not really play like in the grand scheme of things. Like a lot of new games that came out in 2023. But I enjoyed my time with a lot of them. If I had to pick one to be my game of the year, I think it would easily be Resident Evil 4 Remake. I still need to get around to the DLC for that game. I'll discuss the plan for 2024 streams and whatnot. But yeah, if I had to choose just one game that came out in 2023 just to be my game of the year, it definitely would be Resident Evil 4 Remake. And then I would probably put it to Disgaea 7. Would probably be the runner-up. Let me see if I can organize this real quick. This is just like a very loose order. You know what? Let's not make it order-ish. Let's just talk about it. Yeah, let's just talk about the games. But yeah, RE4 Remake, great time. Very fun game. Had a fantastic time with it. I actually got the platinum for this game, which was pretty exciting. Which is also something that I did during the year 2023. Get some platinum trophy hunting. A lot of them was off stream. Now it's a planned video at some point. But yeah, and I was one of those people that when they first announced Resident Evil 4 Remake, I'm like, does this really need to be a thing? Does this really need to be remade? And I played it, and I'm like, you know what? This game's great. Now, I do think there are some aspects of this game that does better than the original, and I think there's some aspects of the original that does better than a remake. But overall, I had a great time with it. And I could definitely see RE4 Remake being in my rotation. Like, I'd be like, sometimes I want to play RE4 OG, and sometimes I want to play the remake. Disgaea 7, I am so glad. Without having beaten this game 100%. That, this is a step up from 6. And as time goes on, and the more I think about it, I think 6 kind of goes down on my RPG list. But, I'm glad 7 came out the way it came out. Still not my personal favorite Disgaea out of all the games. As of date. But I don't know, I need to go replay some of his older ones. Did I actually put 7 above? No, I didn't put 7 above 1, did I? No, you know what? I did not even rank Disgaea 7 yet, did I? No, I did not rank the Sky 7 yet on my RPG list. Because I'm gonna wait till we do the post-game stuff for that. That's right, that's right. So technically, the Sky 7 could still be better than 1. We'll see. We'll see when it comes to that. Super Mario RPG Remake. Oh my goodness, it's so... it was such a long time coming for me to actually sit down and play this game. Even if it's the remake. The remake's great. Haven't beat it yet. Having a fantastic time with it. I'm just so glad to finally be able to sit down and actually experience this game. For the most part, the first time. Like, I played this back in the day. Like, not when it first released, but when, I don't think PlayStation 1 was out at this point. I think it was still just Super Nintendo games. When I rented this and just only played a little bit of, like, I did a new game and then I just loaded up a save file that was already on the cart of, around Booster's Towers. But I'm looking forward to getting back to this, and, yeah, very, very, very great, very good. Small Saga. Very cool little indie RPG game that came out the day before Super Mario RPG Remake, which is pretty funny. It was good. Streamed the whole thing. Not too sure if I 100% it. Fantastic sprite work. Battles and whatnot was pretty easy. But, you know, I mean, look at Super Mario RPG. It's not the hardest. From what I understand, anyway. It might get hard with the post-game stuff. But, not every RPG needs to be the hardest thing in the world. But, apparently there's going to be more content coming for Small Saga soon. So, that'll be pretty good. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this game. 3D platform Goat Lady game. This one I played off stream. I did try streaming it, but for some reason I just couldn't really get it streamed correctly. So I played it off stream. We still haven't beat this one either. But, not gonna lie, I kind of like this more than Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But granted, I haven't put that much time into Wonder. But I don't know, over the years, I definitely have come to the realization that I think I just prefer 3D platformers more than 2D platformers. With some rare exceptions, like I think Yoshi's Island is like one of the greatest platformers. And it's a 2D platformer, and Super Mario Bros. 3, I'm always going to be nostalgic for that game, just for my history with it. I think that's still, you know, pretty good. But I think, like, in the overall grand spectrum of 3D versus 2D, I think I just prefer 3D platformers. Because usually when I'm in a mood for a platforming game, 3D is usually where I go to. Fire Emblem Engage. Admittedly, I have not completely completed this game yet. I think I'm like at the last stretch of the story, and it's been like this was like close to when it was launched, and I'm like, I'm all right. I'll come back to this later. Engage is not a bad game by any means. I don't think it's terrible. I just had no interest in Three Houses whatsoever, and then when they announced Engage, I'm like, oh, this seems pretty cool. And I played it. The gameplay's fine. I think it's cool. The characters are okay. Shout outs to Yunaka, though. Yunaka is, like, the star of that game. But, I don't know. Engage just didn't grab me the same way that Awakening did. Like, Fire Emblem Awakening was so good. It was such a good game. And then Engage, and just like, it's okay. I'm not hating my time. Some of the characters are okay, but I don't know. It's just like the cast of characters just did not grab me the same way that Awakening did. And I'm not to say, you know, Awakening's cast is flawless. There's like one or two characters in that game that I'm just not the biggest fan of. Looking at you, Tidra. And, I don't know. And even the story, I don't know. It's just... like, I'm definitely leaning towards more... negative on my feelings to Engage, but not, like, bad negative. I'm just, like, I want to say, this game is just, like, I get it. And people who like it, and that, you know, there's nothing wrong, you know, everybody's got their own taste. And I want to 100% say, this game is just, like, it's cool and whatnot, it's just not for me, but I'm, like, there's, like, a small part of me that's, like, I'm like, I can't 100% be confident in just saying that and be sincere about it. I just feel like something needed to be tweaked here with Engage. But, you know, that's me personally. Then we have Super Wholesome and Super Jolly RPG, both of which came out this year. Fantastic RPG Maker games. And, highly recommend these. Anybody who's, like, wanting to get into the realm of RPG Maker games and experience that, I highly recommend these two, for sure. Wholesome was made... God, did they say it was only a week or a day? I can't remember. It was for their game jam. And then they... You know, they went in and, to apply what they did with Wholesome and, made a really good game with Jolly. And admittedly, there's some, like, after streaming it and sitting down and thinking about it, like, Super Jolly RPG's got some things where I'm like, I could have done without, like, the whole it's not ARG, but it's got, like, that whole thing where, I want to say it's kind of like Undertale, my feelings on Undertale, where it's got that whole outside the games thing. I don't know. It's not bad by any means. It's just not for me in particular. Because I would have rather seen the stuff that happens, that the fourth wall breaking stuff, I guess you could say. I would wish the cast of characters, like the party cast of characters, kind of actually interact with it rather than they say, you the player, I'm going to take over the game kind of thing to escape. Instead, I would rather have the cast of characters, like that being part of the story and seeing those cast of characters react to those situations. But that's me personally. But without doubt, I think Jolly still is better than Wholesome, and Wholesome's good. I like Wholesome. I like that. Like, I remember when I first streamed Wholesome, I wasn't digging it at first, admittedly, I admit. But the more I played, and I got to the end, and I'm like, you know what? This is a good game. And that's what makes RPG Maker games really cool. Because I'm going into a different mindset when I go to RPG Maker games rather than other RPGs. Because with RPG Maker games, I'm not going to say 100% is the story, but I am definitely, like, story is more highly ranked for me to look at those kind of games than, say, some of the other games, like, let's just say you were an ad. But, yeah, let's say, for example, I'm trying to think of something. Let's say, for example, Disgaea 7's story wasn't the greatest. I have the gameplay to fall back on. And even if Disgaea 7's story was, I'm just spitballing this here. I'm not saying Disgaea 7's story is bad, but I'm just saying as a what if. Like, if Disgaea 7's story was bad, the gameplay could make up for it. Whereas RPG Maker games, you have to kind of do a lot to make the gameplay interesting in those RPG Maker games. Which is, I mean, me personally, I'm not, that doesn't put me off because grew up with some of the older Final Fantasy games. And a lot of these RPG Maker games can emulate that old style Final Fantasy games. But when it comes to RPG Maker games, stories, you can see stories you don't see anywhere else. Because the availability to RPG Maker games and how anybody can take this and make a story out of this engine, you see things that you would never see in, like, you know, released RPG games. Like, even the Lisa games, like Lisa the Pointless and Lisa the Painful, they do a little bit more different to their gameplay that makes them stand out a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if somebody's more well-versed with the RPG Maker engine, you can see how they achieve that. That was a tangent, but anyway. Still, I highly recommend these RPG Maker games, especially for those who want to get into that world of RPG Maker video games. I would put these high up on the list for these to experience, even for just the story and sprite work alone. But yeah, so that was really on-stream and off-stream the games I had played during the year of 2023 that came out in 2023. And if I had to pick one, I would still probably say RE4 Remake is my game of the year. Out of everything that I played. Now, granted, there's some games that came out this year. Yeah, it's still 11 p.m. on my end. This year, that I did not get the chance to play. Like, Pizza Tower, I just never got around to it. Inferno World was another one that I think that came out this year that I would have liked to get to. And a couple RPG Maker games that came out this year that I didn't get to. But I guess we'll quickly just go over some of the older games that didn't come out in 2023 that I touched upon, that we'll discuss here a little bit. Play DMC as a joke thing. That was pretty funny. And honestly, it's not the worst video game. And I think even before I went into DMC, I knew, just because of my experience on Game Center BS, that DMC's not going to be the worst game ever. And it wasn't. It's still something that I probably would just be a one-and-done thing for me. I experienced it. I didn't need to 100% it. It was funny. I got a laugh. And there are some legitimately good ideas in DMC. I will. Like I think everything brings up the new Anchor boss fight is actually visually pretty cool. That's pretty neat. But it's just, I think I'm also I haven't played it now. I think I'm also of the opinion that if this game didn't have the Devil May Cry name to it, I don't think it would have been, it's a double-edged sword. It wouldn't have been negatively panned, and it also wouldn't have been, got so many people to play it. At the same time, the story's awful. It's not a good story. Because it's trying to do the Devil May Cry thing, which also is trying to do its own thing. It's not the greatest. But, I'm glad that I finally sat down and enjoyed it, the 360 version. Funny enough. So we got to see Virgil with the fedora. Very important. We're just going to skip around here. The Adventures of Tintin. Funny enough, I thought I was complete with this game, but I'm not. There was actually a little bit more story to it, I do believe. And I wouldn't mind trying to get the platinum for this game. Which is something going into 2024 that I would like to do. Which I need to, before 2024 rolls around, actually, I need to sit down and actually make some goals here. So let me try to get through these quickly. But yeah, so we'll be coming back to Adventures of Tintin. Not the worst game either. We're actually going to be coming back to Balan Wonderworld. Funny. Yeah, and I actually did replay Resident Evil 4 this year. I actually forgot about that. Still a great game. Fantastic time. I mentioned it earlier. RE4 Remake. Does things better than the original, and the original does things better than the remake. I think they're both. I think it's still valid to replay. Like, there's no reason that the OG RE4 is invalidated now. I think there's still merits to be in playing that along with the remake. Now, some people say, like, RE1 remake, there's, like, no reason to play the OG one, which I do disagree on, but no, that's me personally. Final Fantasy 13. I had thought I've been on and off with this game for multiple years. No, Final Fantasy 13 started this year. And I know I made that goal to when I got 75 followers on Twitch. I would do a platinum run in this game, but man. I knew 13, I know going back to 13 wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world, but having done multiple sessions now of this game throughout the year, whew, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. I think this game definitely benefits more for a first-time person, like a first-time playthrough, rather than going back and replaying it. Because, especially after playing 7 Remake, which I think 7 Remake, in terms of its gameplay aspect, kind of does what 13 does, but does it right. Now, admittedly, I never played 15, so I don't know if, like, 7 is actually borrowing more from 15 to 13, so. But this is also a game we'll definitely try to come back to. Crisis in Middle Ages. I'm not gonna 100% say it was an asset flip, but it kind of leaned towards that territory. Lonely in the Winter, also another RPG Maker game. I just kind of wish there was more to it. Like, there's a good thing here going, but I think it's like, you would have to sit down and kind of like, not necessarily rebuild it from the ground up. You have to tweak some things, extend it a little bit, and I think you have a good thing here. Monster Menu. Very cool dungeon rogue RPG that I'm looking forward to getting back into. I just gotta put some more time into. We replayed Pixel 4 Remaster, the PlayStation 4 version. Still had a great time. Got the platinum for that game for a video that hopefully I'll get out next year. And I'll say it once again. I think Pixel 4 Remaster is out of the early Final Fantasy games is my personal favorite. And when I'm talking about early early Final Fantasy games, that you were an ad. This might give me a copyright, so I mean, if I get a copyright, I get a copyright. It's just muting the video is what really is it. Ooh, okay, got some vaporware music here. But yeah, FF4 is, without putting too much time into 5, it's one of my personal favorites of the older Final Fantasy games. Not quite sure if I would put it above 6 just yet. I'm gonna sit down and replay 6 at some point. But at the moment, definitely between the first 4 games, I think 4 is the best one, followed by 1. So yeah, that was fun. This is basically the stream. I'm just sitting here reflecting and just chatting and talking and whatnot. Just doing the goofy. Lisa the Painful Definitive Edition. I need to get back to this. I only done one session of this. It was funny because when I went to play this, I was like, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm experiencing this for the multiple times I've played the RPG Maker version. And I've sat down and played this. It's like, man, this... I don't know if it's just me, but this feels a little bit more difficult than the RPG Maker version. So we have to come back to that at some point. Also, apologies, you might hear some fireworks things going off in the background because it's New Year's Day. I swear to God, though, I think these people are launching fireworks from cannons. Because I don't even hear when the fireworks go off. I hear them when they just... It literally sounds like they're shooting them out of cannons. Anne was a nice little RPG Maker horror game. Second one I've done of those. Because I know that's a whole genre of itself that I'm just not too familiar with. Is the RPG Maker horror scene. And between Die and Flame and Anne, I'm glad I got 2 winners. We replayed Dead Sea and Dead Sea 2, along with Bio-Erosia. Well, between the 3, I can tell you right now, Dead Sea 2's dead last. Dead Sea 2 is a disappointment. Dead Sea is funny. Bio-Erosia is pretty great. I just love the graphics of it all. Now, I am a little worried that when it comes to the Xbox 360 Live or indie game stuff, I might not be able to play on my 360 when the servers go down, just simply because I think I have to have an internet connection with those. I don't know. I have to see. I have to see. Hopefully not. Applejack. Oh my God, that's gonna be a little bit more difficult than I thought. We'll be coming back to that soon. But sticking with the Xbox things, I finally played for the first time Dead Rising 2 Case Zero. I've always been curious about this, and it's so weird that when they re-released Dead Rising 2, that Case Zero and the other DLC was not included. Those are still Xbox exclusives, which is crazy. But I'm glad to finally sit down and play Case Zero. It was neat. It was a nice little thing. It's an interesting timepiece of how demos were back then. Lisa the Fitful, it's a joke RPG Maker game. I would have loved this being a little bit more fleshed out. Like, I can legitimately see an Among Us Lisa type game and being like goofy and whatnot. Like, I can legitimately see that working if somebody actually sat down and put a lot of time into it. I can legitimately see that being a fun time. Little Princess, we started this quite a bit, put quite a time amount into it. I admittedly, I kind of regret not starting the hard mode just so I can start, like, trying to get the platinum for it, but I'll do that replay off stream, but we need to also come back to this. Again, super cool that this came out in English. The Skyers of Faith, that's an RPG Maker game we didn't put too much time into. I'm definitely gonna come back to that. This weird Fire Emblem clone. Very silly. And then some demos I wanted to highlight here that we have. I think the only one we have a definitive date for is Project Shiba, which Gemini has said that it is coming out sometime next year. Looking forward to it. Gemini also did this game as well, that we streamed on here as well. Neat little roguelike RPG Maker demo. Looking to both for them. And Gemini also worked on Lucy RPG. Shoutouts to Lucy did. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure of the status of Lucy RPG. I think it got rebooted, and I haven't heard much about it. So we'll see. And then, Possessed Quest. Out of all the demos that are still in demo phase that came from Sage, Possessed Quest is the coolest one. I actually followed a guy on Twitter, and pretty cool dude. Working hard on it. Looking forward to it. They also did that crab game from Sage that I played too, which was pretty neat. Yeah, so that was just a bunch of fluff talking. Now before the year is over, I want to do some goals here that I would like to set for the year 2024. So I'm gonna sit down here and think. Okay, so the first thing I can think of, off the top of my head, I want to go here. I want to go through 100 games on my backlog. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that I need to beat these games. It's just like I want to go through 100 of my backlog video games. I think 100 is a good number. Because if we take into account some other things here. I want to also... What am I looking for? I want to go through... Yeah, let me go ahead and write this down. I want to get 30 platinum. Try to not expose my terrible spelling here. I want to get 30 platinum trophies next year. I was able to get more than 20. Or no, okay, so a project video that didn't come out this year that I hope, knock on wood, that we get through, that'll get it out next year at some point. I had done a 30 trophies in 30 days trophy challenge. I failed. Just a spoiler, I failed. But I got 20 platinum trophies in a month. So I think this is durable. Because then more so, I would have the whole year to do this. And on that note, with that, I want to do more video projects. I do want to do some more edited video projects next year. I didn't do a single one last year, if I'm not mistaken. I have some ideas that I think could be pretty neat. So, I want to do more video projects. I don't want to put a hard number to it, but I want to do more of them. If I have to think of any on the top of my head, how many? Like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's a couple. There's a couple in my head I'm thinking right now. Which can go along with, yeah, this will go along with this too. So, to go along with that video project ideas, one of them is I want to go to, so something on my bucket list for the longest time, well, not longest time, like a couple years, is that I would love to lower this volume a little bit. Every single Goodwill in the state of South Carolina, that's the state I live in. I think that could be a funny little thing, and I've visited a little bit, but I would like to visit 20 different Goodwills next year. Which I could not tell you how many's in the state, actually, off the top of my head. 20 might be, I don't know, it might exactly be 20, we'll see, but, yeah, and that would go along with a video project idea as well, where I would just like to say, hey, look at the goofy stuff I found in this Goodwill. I used to do that too, with this one called there was a video series. I kind of did this, but in a different name. Something that I want to one is a series that I would call just Out and About, where I would just go to random places and whatnot and just do different stuff. That would go with that Goodwill project. Video project. Thank you, my father. I'm sure I make sense. I make sense in my head. All right. Oh. Play some of the harder hitting RPGs. Let me rephrase that. Some of the big name RPGs. So for my RPG Maker list, wait, did I do FF7 off stream this year? That was this year, correct? Because I made it... It was. Okay, so I did play the OG Final Fantasy VII off stream this year. I wanted to sit down and really take that in. Yeah, okay, that leads to this, to number 5 here. So I did FF7. I intentionally did not do it on stream. I wanted to sit down, really absorb that game in. Because it's a big game from my childhood. It's one of my favorites of all time. And just really take it all in, especially with Rebirth coming out pretty soon. And yeah, had a great time, and I kind of want to do that some more with some other RPGs, but I also want to do stream some of them. Like I'm gonna make a video update on the channel of like upcoming streams and whatnot, and streaming stuff. I'll be more condensed about what I'll plan on doing for this year, but just like a little thing is I want to tackle some of the big name RPGs from my RPG list. Whether it be off stream or on stream, like I think Earthbound, Undertale, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy VIII. What's some other ones that I'm thinking of? I'm blanking. I'm sure there's some other bigger ones. I'll throw in the first Dragon Age. Because I know that's a bigger-ish one. And normally I'm more into the more non-Western RPGs. But I did play a majority of Dragon Age back in the day, the first one. So I wouldn't mind. Because, like, the goal for my top RPG list is I want to replay and play. Like, the first big thing is I would like to play all the RPGs that I have played throughout my life up to this point and judge them, put them up, rank them and whatnot. So, we got Disgaea 2. I think Disgaea 3 is significant enough. But yeah, the point is, some of the bigger name RPGs, like Even to the Moon, I guess, stuff like that, is definitely something I would like to get to. And with that, I want to add 25 RPGs to the top 100 list. I would like to go and add 25 RPGs to the list. Because currently, as it is right now, let's see. Let me count here. We're currently at 39 on this list. This is not counting Disgaea 7. This is not counting Ys Origins. Because I could technically rank those, but I'm going to wait on that till I can, like, fully experience those two games. But yeah, we're currently sitting at 39, so I'd definitely like to add 25 more RPGs to that list. What else? What else is there? What else do I have in mind? Oh, yes. So, do the full version of FNF Dr. Thunder mod. I would like to do that, and I would also like release RPG Maker game demo. Starting in the new year, I am going to be on full speed working on my RPG Maker game. I got an idea down. Broken record here. I got a full idea. I really want to finally be able to make an RPG Maker game. It's for years and years and years. It's something I want to do. I got it. And I feel like if I put out a little something and put it out there to the world and say, hey, I'm doing this, then I think that will give me some motivation to actually put time into it, actually put work into it. So, I guess I will say that Insecticide is, I think, how I'm pronouncing the game. It's going to be in full production next year. And it will involve the two little bug buddies that I created for that FNF Cool Jam mod. Daughters of Dream. It's kind of like a reboot of sorts to that FNF mod in an RPG Maker format. So that, I'm putting it out there in the world. So now I got to commit to it. So I have an idea for the demo and the demo length in mind, and what the demo will set place in. So that's 2024 goal right there. I'm gonna make an RPG Maker demo. I'm gonna release it, and go from there. Not gonna release the full game next year, but I do want to at least get a playable, stable demo out. Speaking of backlogs, I don't know, 100? Let's do 50. I am terrible when it comes to my movie, DVDs, VHS collection. Like, I can probably count on two hands the amount of movies and shows that I watched last year, or this year. So, I would love to get through my backlog of not just my video games, but also of movies and TV shows that I have just accumulated and built up over the years. Which also goes to my other point. Build a... I don't know if that has a specific thing called, but like a media... movie show thing. Basically, I would back up all my movies and TV shows onto like a computer and have them stored, and like I can broadcast it to my television and stuff like that. I would love to get that built, so I can have just all my stuff right there. So I think that would be neat. Cost an arm and a leg probably, but that was something I would legitimately like to do. Trying to think of some more stuff before we reach midnight. Which I can't really think of much. Turn Discord on, actually. I forgot to turn it on. Hundred backlog video games, 30 platinum trophies, do more video projects, visit 20 different Goodwills, play some of the bigger name RPGs, add 25 RPGs to the top 100 list, do the full version of the FNF Dr. Thunder mod, release RPG Maker game demo, 50 movies last show backlog, build a media movie show thing, whatever it's called. Oh! Make more music. I have been slacking on music making, so I definitely want to get back on track with that and do some things. And with that, I want to release I don't know, I guess that's going to be the name of the album. Release now, that's what I call dish tries things. Basically, I want to release like a set of music that tackles different music genres, which I do have a list to the side of like different music genres I would like to try to do, and I think it would be fun to do that and put it on a album of sorts, like a digital album. It wouldn't be a physical album or anything like that, and each song would be a different take on, or a different genre that I would try to make. Like, I would sit down and really study a lot of this and, like, really work out. Like, there was a little sneak peek on my YouTube that I did this as a test trial of the, of a song. It's like, a song where I tried to emulate, like, plug-and-play music. So that's kind of like a sneak peek of that. Now, admittedly, I didn't put as much time and energy into that song in particular than I would like for this particular album, but that's like that's kind of like a preview thing to what I'm talking about. And I have like each song would be randomly picked from a list that I got here, and I would tackle them. And on that list, I got things like Vaporwave, which we're listening to right now, Lo-Fi, just different kinds of stuff, random stuff like that. I could probably... Do I have the list available to me? I do. Like, I got things here that are specific, and then I got things that are so broad that I would have to think of what it means. Like, I got things listed here. Like, I got Among Us, Bad RPG Maker / Stanky MIDI, Bubblegum Pop, Chiptune, City Pop, Dad Rock, Daft Punk, Dark Souls Toilet, Dead Mall, Donkey Konga, Dreamcore, EXE, Final Fantasy, Friday Night Funkin', Electronic, Kick Rock, Kitty Core, Knockoff Dr. Pepper, Kung Fu Mario's theme, Liminal Space, Lisa the Type Music, Lo-Fi, Losci, NIS Beats to Grind to. That's more specifically a whole different thing of itself. Lost Media, Lost Wave, Mallsoft, Moai Head, Miku Pop, Nico May Cafe, New Wave, Obese Cheese Boys theme, Pencil Swirl, Penis Music, Pizza Core, Plug and Play. I got Plug and Play back on here. PS1 Drum and Bass, Rusty Metal, Samurai Rap / Hip Hop, Scooby Doo Chase, SCP-294, She Santee, Shredded Cheese at 3 a.m., Spoopy Beat, Steampunk, Techno, The Back Rooms, The Bathrooms, The Pool Rooms, Vaporwave, Weirdcore, and then Xbox Live Indie Games. Weird selection of like music genres to try to make music for, but I think it could be pretty fun. Oh, I'm forgetting like one of the more bigger things. Like one of the main reasons I wanted to do this stream. I want to do a more consistent streaming schedule. Stream on time day thing. Stream on time day kind of thing. I'm also going to go over this in a more edited video on the YouTube side of things, but I want to be more consistent with my streams. No matter what, I want to be more consistent. To try, even if I can try to stream an hour a day, or the days I have designated, that will still be better than what I have been doing. So the plan going forward is with this, something like that. So this is the plan I got for the streaming schedule and going forward. I want to do... I swear I didn't copy this from T. I thought about this for a while now. So, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays are the days I want to stream. 4 days a week, minimum. Sundays is like, I don't mind streaming some Sundays. It's not, the only reason why I'm not listing Sunday as consistent is because just, there's things that, I go visit family. There's things I wouldn't like to do, which also ties in line with some of the video projects and projects in general that I want to do. So I would have some of those days off where I can work on that stuff. Because in the past, I wanted to stream a lot, including on my days off. But now, instead of like always worrying about it, always like had the back of my mind saying, I know I want to stream on my 2 days off, and it never happens. I'm just gonna flat out say, for the most part, I'm not gonna be streaming those days. Sundays will be on and off. 100% for sure, Mondays and Tuesdays, I will not be streaming. Guaranteed those 2 days, for sure, will not be no streams. Mondays, though, as long as T will have me, and as long as he does them, I will be on his streams for Mario ROM hacks. Always a fun time on being on his show, and I'm thankful that he includes me on his streams for that, and his chat welcomes me, and just have a good time all around with that. I'm trying to think. That was one of the big things for the list, was the streaming change-up, which also goes hand in hand is for the streaming. I don't want to be jumping around from game to game like I often do, because we got, like, I can look at the games I got listed here that I've never completed on stream, and just kind of just like Monster Menu, Final Fantasy 13, Little Princess, technically Super Mario RPG, Disgaea 7. Like, I jump around between games a lot, and I kind of want to put a stop to that. So going forward, we'll at the very least we'll have 2024 being the test year for it. When I start a stream or start a game on stream, I'm gonna be consistent with it. I'm not gonna stop streaming it until I am done or gotten to a point to where I feel like I've gotten as much as I want out of this game, or a game that I legitimately gave a shot, just wasn't feeling it, and feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm done with this game. I put some time into it. I'm just good. Now, I'm not gonna 100% say that a random game might pop up here and there. Like, say, a demo for a game comes out that I want to check out. I'll check out the demo. Like, say, we were talking about earlier. Say, like, Gemini puts out another demo for Project Shiba. I would check that out. Bebder Game gets another demo. I would check that out. It's stuff like that. And Sage, you know, I'll try to do the Sage thing every year. So, you know, I would put time aside for Sage. I would do that. So, you know, events like that and stuff like that is like the exception. But I don't want to jump from game to game. I want to be consistent with, like... And plus, this would give people the heads up who watches the streams and watches videos on YouTube. They're like, okay, this guy's playing, like, say, Final Fantasy 13. I don't need to watch this stuff for a while until he gets to the next game or something like that. So it's consistent. It's not like, oh, what, you know, today's Monday, what game is he going to play today? Kind of thing. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm still going to keep the semi-random aspect of what games I'm picking, because I do got a list to the side here where I'm going to be randomly picking from a list of games that I do want to play. And one of those choices is going to be a random video game just from the whole library. Now, it's not on the list just yet because I have to sit down and make that list again. But I got a set list of like a little over 100 games here of what I would like to stream. This does include FNF mods. FNF's not going away. Don't worry. I know that a lot of my followers before the 75 did come from FNF, and I am thankful for all that. Thank you for the FNF people. FNF mods showcase and stuff is not going to go away, but I will say I'm only gonna really kind of be playing the ones that just catches my eyes and catches my interest, or if like somebody I'm familiar with say, hey, would you play my FNF mod? I'm like, sure, I know who you are. I would definitely do, you know, stuff like that. I'm not gonna be playing every FNF mod out there because no matter how good an FNF mod is, there's just some I'm just not interested because, you know, it could be like, it's like, yeah, that's cool, that's great. It's just like, I'm just not a fan of that particular subject matter. And stuff like that. Like one recently, shout outs to the chat, the person in chat who, I think it might have been one of the creators, who recommended the Kenny mod from South Park. Very well done FNF mod, I'm just not into South Park. So that would be something where I normally just like, like, it's very well done, it's very cool, I'm just not into South Park. So I think going forward, unless it's somebody that I'm well familiar with, I'm not going to be checking out FNF mods that just doesn't really interest me at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, as you can see on the goal list, I do still intend to make some FNF music. In quotes, FNF music. Because I make weird music. The only reason why I didn't put the other FNF mod I have on head is because that was just more of a collection of just random stuff that I do that I'm just going to throw out there. The FNF Dr. Thunder mod is something I legitimately want to do, something that I have ideas for that I want to sit down and... If I can only have one full FNF project, it's going to be the Dr. Thunder mod. Unfortunately, Cool Jam, I think it's just kind of where it is at. And it, like, most of it's going to be rebooted into an RPG Maker game anyway, so... I think that's kind of just going to be sitting there the way it is. Shoutouts to, you know, to Iron Fist Clown, though. Not only did he make the background and the screen that you see on my Twitch when I'm offline, but he also did the Cool Jam logo for that. And I do feel bad that mod's not gonna get, or that logo for that mod's not gonna get a whole lot of representation. But he did make this killer background though. So shout outs to them. And I don't know if he ever happens to come across like this stream of the video later on, but I am Iron Fist Clown. I am willing to pay you for more logos. Don't get me wrong. I just hope to put them to full use. I don't want your talents being wasted on, hey, here's an FNF mod that didn't go anywhere kind of thing. But yeah, FNF streams will be around. That will be also an exception. Like, if just something comes up, I was like, hey, we're going to take, like, a little detour for one day. Check out an FNF mod. I think it's pretty cool. And that, you know, stuff like that. But for the most part, streaming going forward for the year of 2024, I'm going to stick to one game and just do that. Which I can go ahead and say for the upcoming games right this moment. I do want to finish up Disguise 7, Super Mario RPG remake. Debating if I want to jump into the RE4 remake DLC, or if I'm just going to wait for that for the list. I probably will go ahead and just add that to the thing. Then after those 3 games, I got my list to the side where I'm going to be randomly picking the games going for it. It includes every game that I have not finished on stream on this list. With the exception of some that I'm like, I'm okay never going back to that. But I will guarantee that we will be going back to Mario RPG Remake, Disguise 7, and I'll go ahead and add the RE4 Remake DLC. We'll go ahead and say that. I need Guardian of Banban 6. I don't even have Guardian of Banban 6. Okay, spoiler, I got Guardian of Banban on this list because I thought it would be funny. Just the first one, because it's free. But yeah, I got a Google Doc of this list. We got 117 entries for this. They're not all games. Some of them are like random RPG Maker game. Friday Night Funkin' Mod. And then once I get the list together, I'll put random video game from collection. And it can literally be any video game rather than just like short list of games I got right there. Okay, I'm thinking. I'm gonna do much more than just this. Once I'm done with this gold thing, I think I'm gonna boot up Vampire Survivors and just try that out for the first time. Just like a one-off thing, just to try it out and whatnot. I think that's everything that I can think of for 2024 goals. Some of them are not on stream. Some of these are just like personal too. I'll put this one down. Go outside and touch... Yeah, you know what? Go outside and touch grass. That would that will come into play as like I go out to different Goodwills. Because admittedly, in 2023, I did not do much going out to things for a number of reasons. Like admittedly, this year, the beginning of 2023 is when I felt most comfortable being a little bit more lax on the mask. Wearing a mask. Because I've been wearing a mask ever since the mask mandate went into effect. It was at the beginning of this year where I felt comfortable enough where, like, okay, I can relax on the mask thing for a little bit. Which is a shame, too, because I was like, I just got a cool mask, too. Though the amount of dust that goes on in my store, I might need to wear a mask just for the dust, not for, you know, coronavirus and all that. Though I will say, when I go to conventions and tournaments and whatnot, I'm gonna be wearing a mask though, because if that helps me from not getting sick from, you know, the cold and flus, con flu and whatnot, I will absolutely be comfortable wearing masks at events like that. But like going to work, for example, I think like there's enough space between my other co-workers and enough time has passed, and I'm not surrounded by customers either, for the most part, to where I feel comfortable enough where I'm like, okay, I'm all right this year, wearing the mask less often, but I'm still gonna be wearing a mask the rest of my life going to conventions and whatnot. I'm perfectly all right wearing cool design masks, some stuff. But yeah, but actually going outside and touch grass is definitely something that I would like to do more often. Just check out a lot more shops and whatnot. Probably won't buy a whole lot of stuff because, you know, prices are everything. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of. I think, like, everything got major, like, I'm, like, maybe there's, like, one or two things I'm, like, thinking about back in my head, and I'm like, that would be neat, but it's not something that I'm going out on my way to make it a goal for 2024. Like, I wouldn't mind modding my GameCube, for example, or something like that. Like, I'm looking around my room thinking, like, let's see. Yeah, I think I've hit most of the major points. Okay, so, let's go over the list before midnight strikes, that we enter the new year. At least my end. 100 backlog video games, 30 platinum trophies, do more video projects, visit 20 different Goodwills, play some of the big name RPGs, add 25 RPGs to the top 100 list, do the full version... I'll just put it that way. Do the full version of the FNF Dr. Thunder mod, release the RPG Maker game demo, 50 movie/shows backlog, the Oda Media movie show thingy, my bobber, make more music, release now, that's what I call Disc Tries Things, streaming change up, which we discussed, go outside and touch grass. I think that's where I'm comfortable at. Like, I'm trying to think of other things. I think I'm alright with that. But real quick, I do want to do a shout out to everyone who has subscribed to the YouTube and everybody who's following on Twitch too. But this year, I got over 400 subscribers on YouTube. Yay. Legit thought That was the coolest thing ever. I'm not a stickler for a subscriber count, but, I mean, I don't care. I'm not too big on what that number is, but the fact that it is the number that it is, I'm still thankful that so many people have subscribed to the YouTube channel. Despite, like, really all I'm doing is, like, upload the Twitch VODs to it nowadays with, like, maybe a highlighted clip here and there. But, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Even if some of those are bots or inactive accounts, it doesn't matter. Shout out to the Twitch followers, too. That one thing that I've, you know, for years and years and years, I've mentioned it to numerous people and whatnot. If I can make somebody's day a little bit more enjoyable, then I feel like I've done something really meaningful. Like, even if the person points at me and laughs at what I'm doing, I can at least say, you know what? I made you laugh. Even if it's, even if you're laughing at me for being terrible. I made your day a little less bad, I feel for it. And that's something I strive for. If I, like, that means the world to me. If I can make somebody's day just a little less awful. No matter what. Then I feel like I've done some good to the world. It's not a huge amount of things. It's you know, it's not like life-changing or anything like that. But if I can make somebody's day a little bit more decent, then I've done something that really makes my day really grand. Yeah, with that, I think I'm just gonna boot up Vampire Survivors and give it a go. We'll see how that game is like. Been very curious about it for a while. Not gonna lie, the Among Us DLC kind of made me want to pick up the game finally. So, yeah. If I can think of anything else, I'll jot it down. But I think that's pretty much. I think I'm all right with that. For 2024, I think I'm okay with that.